Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of answering your questions about real life topics. I didn't want to use the same introduction video from my last one. I thought that would be kind of weird, so this will just be a short introduction and let's just get into the questions.
How do you approach a girl to ask on a date when she's super busy? Ooh. Okay, so I would have to say, just shoot your shot. What is gonna hurt if you get rejected? What's gonna hurt if it doesn't go your way? At least you can say you tried. But my question to you would be, what is she super busy with? But other than that, it doesn't hurt to ask. And yeah, that's just my advice on it, especially coming from a guy. I feel like guys have a lot more confidence, correct me if I'm wrong, than girls to ask. I feel like girls expect it. Like, this is just like this stereotypical thing where girls expect the guys to do the asking out, and I just think that that's the world we live in today, and I give credit to all the girls who do the exact opposite because I cannot do that. But yeah, so anyways, I would just say just try and ask out. The worst thing is just gonna be, oh, I'm too busy, I can't go out tonight, or I'm just not interested in dating. It can't get that bad. At least you can say you tried. So that's my advice for approaching a girl for a date if she is super busy. How do you stay motivated in your fitness and health? So, gosh, I don't know what triggered me to, trust me, there are days where I'm not eating 100% healthy. Like, before COVID hit, I would say that was the healthiest I ate. Like, the 3 months when I was going through my breakup, I would say, is when I ate the cleanest, and I was probably the most fit ever. But I'm trying my best now to stick to eating healthier, especially since I work out every morning. But I don't know, I feel like the motivation has definitely been a lot different since going back to the gym from COVID. I feel like the motivation just kind of isn't the same as before, and I don't know if it's because the motivation was more when I was going through the breakup than it is now. I'm in a different spot now. I'm in a different place, and so I don't know if that has to do with it. But when it comes to waking up every single morning, hitting the gym every single morning, and trying to eat my best, I would say what motivates me a lot is the fact that I want to be, healthy. That really is what it is. A lot of people wonder why I went vegan. Now I would say I'm not 100% vegan. I eat fish here and there. So no, I'm not vegan anymore. I definitely do not eat meat or dairy though. But the reason behind that is because I had lost my father, or other people know him as my papa. I lost him from a stroke, and I feel like a lot of that could have been prevented with preventative care, like eating healthier, exercising, and even when it comes down to my grandmother, you or what I've learned from school is that diet, the way you eat, especially when it comes to foods that have gluten in it. I'm not gluten free, but I'm just giving an example. How much we don't look into our diet when it comes to mental health and how it can affect our mental health. It's crazy. The amount of things that I learn about how certain things play a big part in our health overall. I just want to be the healthiest version of myself, not only for me but for my son. And if I have future kids, I don't ever want to put them in a position where they're gonna have to take care of me. And I don't think there's anything wrong. I have nothing against being like having to take care of my grandmother. I do it because she was the one that took care of me my whole life. She didn't have to take on that role as being my mom, but she did. And so those are just the motivations. I feel like a lot of it has to do with just me wanting to just be healthy in the long run. But when it comes down to eating, I haven't really been, I've been off and on with my eating habits. But exercise, I go every morning. Some days I don't even want to go, but a lot of it has to do with just maintaining what I have, maintaining what I worked hard for. So I know, like, when it comes down to people and working out, the hardest thing is sticking to it. A lot of people fall back or do the yo-yoing thing. But really, I hit a spot in my life where I was the most fit. I'm trying my best to get back there. Don't know how long it's gonna take, but that really is the motivation. I just want to keep what I have. I don't ever want to go back to where I came from. So that is where I get the motivation from. And it also really, really helps with my mental health, and I also get to socialize with the people that I work out with. So it's just a win-win really for me, and that's what keeps me motivated. Would you date older men? And what would you consider what would you consider too big of an age gap? So if you were to ask me this when I was in my 20s, I would say, hell no, I'm not dating anybody older than me. I have dated somebody a year younger than me, somebody the same age as me. And I've learned a lot from that. I've never given a guy that was older than me a chance. So I think getting older, it kind of opened my mind to saying, hey, you've never really dated somebody older than you. So yes, I would date somebody who was older than me. For me, too big of an age gap, honestly, I'm gonna speak from my opinion and then from my personal opinion. Like, those are two separate, because what I would do and then what I think overall. I don't ever think that there's too big of an age gap when it comes to other people and other people's situations. I think if you guys are in love and it works for you guys, then by all means do you. For me though, I would say for a big age gap for me would be, I really don't know. I used to tell myself I would date 35, 36. That would be the oldest that I would date. But I honestly don't know, because I haven't even gotten there in my life. But for me right now, it's a 5-6 year age gap. If I were to meet somebody, I think that would make me a lot more comfortable. But who knows? I mean, I can't really speak for anything else, but that's just my preference. But when it comes to anybody else's relationship, I don't think that there is such thing as an age gap. If you guys work, if you guys are meant to be, if you guys are in love, then it works. And I know a lot of people where it does work out. So do you? And no, I don't really think that there is such thing as a big age gap. But for me, and what I think right now in this moment, I would give it a 5-6 year, age gap if I were to date somebody that was older than me. But, okay. I think it's very funny that a lot of you guys try to slip in my, my questions and ask me out on a whole bunch of dates. Like, I'm flattered, but this isn't why we're here right now. So if you guys have a question the next time, please ask me a question. Asking me out on a date is a question, but it has nothing to do with what I was trying to do here. So next one is, do you think the guy should always be taller than the woman in a relationship? I would say the only reason why this would be a thing is because of, like, I said before, stereotypes. It's just what we have been brought up to believe. I don't always think that the guy should be taller than the woman. If I'm gonna speak from personal experience, I dated somebody who was not short, but if we went out on a date or if we went out somewhere, I wouldn't be able to really wear like high heels. And I think they preferred it that way. But or it would have to be very short, because then it would be like we're at the same level, and I don't really think, or I think that made that person feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I mean, I think it just depends on the person. For me, I've never dated somebody shorter than me, so I wouldn't really know what it's like to date somebody shorter. But I just think a lot of it has to do with, you know, stereotypes and how we're brought up to think that the guy should always be tall and the girl should always be, you know, shorter. But I know a lot of couples who actually are almost the same height, and I don't think that there is anything wrong with that. So, you know, I just think it's preference and who the individual is, and I just think that has a lot to do with it. What are your thoughts on women judging guys before knowing their story? So I'm gonna assume, because it's not really that specific, I'm gonna assume that this is referring to wanting to date a girl and her maybe judging you off of like your past, or maybe something she's heard about you, or maybe you just have a bad reputation. I think women do this because a lot of us don't really want to waste our time, so we're very, very quick to judge. However, I do think that women and maturity have a lot to do with it. So in my case, I'm very open-minded. You know, I don't believe that people are evil because they've done bad things in their lives, or I don't think that every guy who has cheated is going to go into a relationship and be a serial cheater again. I mean, there are some times where I would probably say that or tell a friend, you know, maybe you should watch out, but I'm not gonna say that because a guy has a bad rep that they're a bad guy, you know. I think everybody deserves a chance, but that's just me. I'm very open-minded, and I would say I'm very mature. I've always been, I feel mature for my age always, but I would say that women mostly do this because they kind of just don't want to deal with the BS. They don't want to deal with, you know, shit. And a lot of guys get the label of being liars. So even I'd say, like, coming, I'm not saying this is me, I'm just saying coming like in a women's, from a women's point of view, I would say that because guys are like labeled as, you know, already being like liars, guys are liars, they're all the same. I don't believe this, I'm just saying. I'd say that a lot of women just don't even want to waste their time with it. If you do have a backstory, if you do have a bad rep, I think women are just quick to jump to the conclusion of, you know, I don't want to waste my time. Even if I ask them, they're going to lie to me anyways. But for me, I would say that a lot has to do with maturity, a lot has to do with age, and that I think as we get older, we become a lot more open-minded and accepting of, you know, people and their stories, whether they're bad or good or whatever the case is. So those are just my thoughts on it. I think a lot of it just has to do with age and maturity, but I don't know what your story is, or, you know, what your reputation is. But I mean, if you want to be more specific in the next video, then just, you know, message me and I will be a little bit more specific with the answer that I give you. So let's move on. Anyways, I think that was the last one that was not me getting asked out. Wait, let me make sure. Yeah, I think that was it. Got it, guys, we got it. I mean, Risa did ask me to show my Risa. That's not happening. You're the same from high school. Oh no, things have never changed with you. But yeah, so that was it for the questions. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this chit chat. I'm gonna start doing these a little bit more because these are actually really fun for me to do, to be able to sit down and give you guys advice on, you know, whatever you guys want to know about. Sometimes I do get off topic, so please forgive me for that, but I am a talker. I talk a lot and sometimes I get off of topic. But I hope that you guys enjoy this, and if you guys do, please hit that like button to let me know that you guys enjoy these types of videos. And I hope everybody has a great and fun weekend. Please, please, please be safe, because guys, we are not out of the woods yet. Please do not take advantage of us being in tier 3 and us being able to get the vaccine. Don't take that for granted. Don't take it for granted. But be safe, have fun, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.